will take a very practical approach today to the subject of organizing a doctoral program in Europe. What I think is important is that when we are in the stage of starting up such a wonderful new thing as a doctoral program, that it could be helpful to have some best practices from other countries maybe. So that's the reason why I think that it could be helpful to present an example of how research and doctoral training is organized in the Netherlands. Not because I believe that this is a kind of a format that could be copied in Europe, but maybe I guess that the example that I give may at least give some ideas of how to put in some important ingredients in the training and research on this important subject. So, the next slide, how does it work? Yeah. I want to present a Dutch format, and what I want to do is I simply describe one example of a Dutch research institute, because all research in the Netherlands is organized in research institutes. So not only in universities, but also in research institutes. So this is the example that I give is just one of these research institutes. And I want to go into the idea of, well, what are the quality and success factors of this organizing this research in that way, and how is the PhD training actually organized. The example that I want to provide you is the Kurt Lewin Institute, the research institute I am involved in. As you may know, Kurt Lewin is the founding father of social psychology, and most importantly, he was the one who really emphasized the complementarity of basic and applied research. So therefore we gave our research institute the name of Kurt Lewin. And in this research institute, all research is bundled regarding to social psychology and work and organizational psychology. It now exists 12 years, so we have just celebrated that. And it is an inter-university center for graduate training and research, focusing on the analysis of the psychological factors contributing to the shaping of social behavior. That's the purpose of this research institute. And in this institute, there are 5 Dutch universities involved. There are more universities in the Netherlands, but these are the universities who have a department on social psychology and work and organizational psychology. So they collaborate together in this Kurt Lewin Institute. What it means is that the scientific staff of each of these departments are the members of this research institute. It also means that they apply for this membership, and I'm coming back to that later. Moreover, being a member of the research institute is really necessary for getting a tenured position even in the Netherlands. And it's not only for the Kurt Lewin Institute, but for all research institutes in the Netherlands. One of the first steps that the Kurt Lewin Institute made was deciding on a research agenda. What they did, because the field of social psychology and work and organizational psychology is so really broad, maybe even broader than career counseling is, but they organized the research around 4 different levels of analysis. And the first level is interpersonal processes, the second level is, intrapersonal processes, and then interpersonal processes, then group and organizational processes, and intergroup processes. This goes from the individual to the larger entities of societies or groups. So in the research institute, PhD students are involved each year, because we are a small country, of course. On average, 16 new PhD students enter the program. So in the research institute we have about 64 PhD students participating in research and training. To show you some of our figures, 85% of them complete their dissertation in 4.7 years. They are meant to complete it in 4 years, but as you may know, most of the PhD students are also involved in teaching. So at least they spend teaching in their PhD program for 25%, I think, of their time. What is important is that most of these students have already publications in referred journals before they finished their dissertation. And I think that it will be on average 2 to 3 journal publications. So most of the dissertations are based on these PhD publications. Furthermore, in order to promote publications in referred journals, the KLI also has established a student award, a paper award. So what are the quality and success factors? First of all, the supervisors of these PhD students are the full or associate members of this research institute. That means that, as I said, every researcher in the Netherlands need to apply for a full membership in the research institute. So they need to meet basic criteria. I don't go into the details of these criteria, but of course these criteria relate to that they need to supervise PhD students, that they have records that point to their qualities as a researcher in PhD in the publications. So that's the first point. And then the second is that before PhD projects are starting, the proposals of these projects are assessed by a research committee from the Kurt Lewin Institute. So each project starts with a clear PhD proposal, and that proposal includes a program for 3 to 4 years of research. Of course, it doesn't mean that a student needs to follow that program exactly, because when doing your research, as we all know, things might change. But what is clear already from the start of the project is the theories that are involved, the basic ideas, the basic methods that will be used, and the basic questions must be clear. Secondly, the scientific committee also monitors the PhD project progress. So every year, each PhD student needs to write an evaluation report on how they are doing in their project. And then there's the training for PhD students. So within the Kurt Lewin Institute we have a training committee, educational committee, who provides a training for the PhD students. And then, of course, we in the Netherlands have very clear standards for PhD graduation. So all over within the Gottlieb Institute, the standards for the PhD graduation are quite clear. Then the PhD training. First of all, the training is mandatory. So each student needs to participate for at least 16 ECTs, and which means about 448 hours in their project on training. And there are 4 clear goals for that training. First, the training is focused on increasing, enhancing academic skills. And that means students learn how to critically review and communicate about theory and research. The second one is theoretical knowledge. That means they need to show that they understand theories and recent developments in the fields, that they are able to connect theories and to build models, research models on that theories. The third is research skills. So how do you generate good research questions and hypotheses? How do you make good research designs? What kind of statistical analysis are available? What are the implications of research? Issues about integrity are discussed there. And they also learn how to bring their results to a more broader audience and to policy, etc. And the final goal is also to offer these students career orientation for their own future career. So that is also one of the goals. So how does the training program looks like? It is divided in basic courses and in more specialist elective courses. The basic courses are simply a course on how to write in English. So they are learned how to write a paper, they get commands, they do intervision, etc. They get a course or training in how to publish, how to present, how to make up a good. Then they learn how to review the literature or writing comments on the literature. And they learn a lot about statistical analysis and research design, so there are specific mandatory courses on research methods. I believe it. Then there are specialist elective courses. Yeah. More the methodological ones, theory-oriented courses, and a course on career planning. So, to summarize, the Research Institute is an institute with faculty who meets the scientific criteria. They have a clear research agenda organized in divisions. They have approved research proposals at the start of a PhD project, and there are mandatory basic and elective courses. So what does that give us for suggestions maybe for the European doctoral program? First of all, indeed, it is really helpful to organize European research in a European center for career research and graduate training. I believe so. It is indeed a good idea to organize the research in Europe in divisions, although I don't think that it will be able to organize that into the content of the research, but maybe it's indeed also a good idea to organize it into the level of analysis that we are using. For instance, also in our field, we do have research focused on more intrapersonal processes like career adaptability, issues like self-regulation or aging. There are projects more related to interpersonal questions of research like career counseling and coaching indeed, and issues related to individuals and societies like social inclusion, for instance. For the training of PhD students, is it an idea to also have a kind of a review of research proposals at the start of the PhD project, to get more input also into these projects, to set up indeed basic but also elective courses by full members of that research institute, so members who are recognized for their own knowledge and skills on doing research, but also other experts of course. And I think that it is really important to have a real European exchange of PhD students, so that we have a system in which students who are working with a supervisor in their own country also may have a co-supervisor in another country working with them, because that also would create more research collaboration among the researchers in Europe. Thank you very much.